Hey learners, hope you all are doing well. In the previous session of Python programming series, we discussed some programs on user-defined function. Now today we are going to discuss what are different ways of passing parameters to functions. So let's start with the topic without wasting time. Now in Python, you can pass parameters by four different ways. First is called as positional parameter. Second is keyword parameter. Third, default arguments. And fourth, variable arguments. We'll discuss all this with simple illustrations. Now we'll start first with positional parameters. Now in this case, remember when you define a function with some number of arguments, then at the time of call also you have to pass that many number of arguments. That is, in this case, the number of argument and the order of argument is important. That is, the position of the actual and the formal is important. There is a one-to-one correspondence that takes place between the actual and the formal. Let's see one simple illustration. Suppose I've defined one function add, def add. To that I've passed two arguments x and y. Note that x and y are formals or dummy because they are used within the function definition. We are just simply returning addition of these two numbers. Now the definition is very simple. Now x and y are two formal arguments. Now this function is with two arguments. So at the time of call also you have to specify two arguments. But only specifying two arguments doesn't suffice. The order is also important because there takes place a one-to-one correspondence between the actual and the formal. Let's see. If suppose I call this function print add with value 5, 6. Now here the correspondence is 5 will get stored in x and 6 will get stored in y. You'll get the appropriate result. But suppose if I call the same function add with 6 comma 5, now in this case the result won't change because the operator used is plus, and the mathematical rule is that plus is commutative. X plus y and y plus x, the result is same. But if some operation is different, you would have got different result. But the main thing I want to tell you is here the position of the actual is important. Now 6 in this context will be corresponded with x and 5 will be corresponded with y. Whereas in the previous call, 5 was corresponded with x and 6 with y. I hope you got the concept of positional argument. That is, the number of formals and number of actual should be same, and their order, that is their position, is also important because one-to-one correspondence takes place between them. Now in this context only, if you pass more argument or less argument, Python interpreter will give you error. For example, I'm just passing 6. It will say that one argument y is missing. See, missing one required positional argument y. And suppose you call it with extra arguments like 6, 7, 8. It will say it is expecting 2 but 3 are passed. You can see the error. Takes 2 positional but 3 were given. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's move on to the second technique, that is keyword argument. Now in case of keyword argument, the definition of the function doesn't change. It is same as usual, which we do it in case of positional. Only in case of keyword, we have a choice by which order we can pass the parameter at the time of call. But then how it will decide how to do the correspondence. Therefore, here the facility given is at the time of call, you have to mention along with the actual name of the formal. And therefore, in this second context, that is keyword argument, position is immaterial. Means you can pass the argument in any order. Why? Because at the time of call, you're not only going to mention the actual, but along with the actual, you're also going to give the name of formal. For example, the definition will keep it same as it is. But then when we are calling it, we have to call in this order. See, I'm writing x is equal to y is equal to. So here we have to do a correspondence of formal with actual. So note that here the facility is at the time of call, at the time of call, we can mention the name of formal also. Therefore, the order doesn't matter. Now, in the first context, I have written first x equal to 4 and then y equal to 6. Suppose I call the same add function by writing first y equal to 6 and then x is equal to 4. Still, it will work. So, in this case, what is not important? The position. Why? Because at the time of call, also you are mentioning the name of formal. I hope this second technique is also clear to you. Now, let's move on to the third technique, that is default argument, which is provided by many other languages like C++, PHP, those who are familiar with it. Now, what does this third technique say? That is default argument. It says that you can assign some default value to your formal parameters. And when you're calling that function, and during call, if you're not explicitly giving value to that parameter, it will use the default. That is, in absence of explicit value, it will make use of the default value. And suppose you have explicitly passed, it will use the explicitly given value. As an illustration, I'll tell you. Suppose we define one function POW for shortcut power. I'm passing two arguments to it. I'll give name to it as power. Two arguments. One is b, which will act as base, and n, which will act as exponent. And to that, I've given one default value, n equal to 2. Now, what does this indicate? That is, the formal parameter n is having a default value 2. So, at the time of call, if I don't give this value, it will use 2 as a default value. Now what I'm doing is I'm returning n star b star star n, that is b raised to n. Now at the time of call, power 5 comma 6. Now I have explicitly passed second argument. Therefore it will override 6 in place of 2. But at the time of call, if I don't pass second argument, it will take n as 2, that is the default value. Can you see? Power 5, it took n as 2 and it returned 5 square. Now note that when we are passing parameters with default value, always we have to pass those default values from right direction. That is, no in between argument can have default value. That is a restriction. Now let's move on to the fourth technique, that is variable number of arguments. Now, variable number of arguments means it gives choice of passing any number of arguments at the time of call. There are many examples, like best example is print itself. In case of print, we can pass any number of argument. There is no restriction. So the fourth technique is variable number of argument. Now, how to indicate that this function is going to receive variable number of argument? We'll see with a small illustration. Example, I am defining one function, define add, and to that I'm going to pass many arguments, and inside that I'm going to return the summation of all the arguments. Now, how to indicate that this is a function with variable number of r? So you have to write that dummy variable name preceded with star. This is a Python syntax. Now Python recognizes that this variable is going to receive n number of values. Now internally this is converted into a tuple. Tuple, you can say, it's an object in which there are group of values. So the syntax is star and the name of the dummy variable. If the dummy variable is preceded with star, Python treats it as a variable arg function. That is, this argument is going to receive many arguments. This is somewhat like packing and unpacking. Means what happens is, at the time of call, you pass many arguments, that all arguments are packed into one tuple, and that tuple is passed in this variable. Now how to access it? So you can use simple for loop. I'll initialize one local variable s to 0. Then I'll write a for loop for t in args. I guess you have attended the previous sessions of control flow. Args is now one group of element, that is, it's a tuple. Now one by one value get copied in t, that you'll add it in s. After that we will return s. Now the definition of the function is over. Now at the time of call, suppose I'm writing print add 5, 6, 2, 1, 8, whatever. Now what happens is, at the time of call, whatever arguments you have passed, they all will get packed into a tuple, and that tuple is copied in this args, and inside that you are again unpacking it by extracting one by one value from that tuple. I guess you got this example of variable number of arguments. We'll discuss more examples in our Python programming series, which will be starting soon. That's all for today, guys. Hope you understood this session. If you have any queries, please contact us. We are always there for you. As always, keep learning, keep evolving, and don't forget to click our bell icon. Please subscribe, share, like. Thank you. God bless.